Yeah, we got off to a good start. Thought we were playing pretty well and bothering them a little bit with our mixing up our defenses, and then towards they really stepped on the gas a little bit at the end of the first half and went in there up 8 and challenged our guys, tried to come out the first part of the second half, and they answered. We had some moments there, but we really couldn't recover. Their guards were really good. I think Leggett was 9 for 9 from 2. That's hard to do. He played really well. But you're gonna have to play really well to win on the road, and especially against a really good team. And I think Pitt's a good team, so we'll have to get better.
Coach Cable talks about your zone stopping them early on. How did you see you guys work well against their offense early in the first half?
We were doing a good job keeping in front. Max was doing a good job protecting the rim. It probably confused him a little bit, and we kind of had we were really concerned about Lowe because we weren't sure if Leggett was going to play, and I thought we bottled him up, and we forced him to some bad situations, and then like I said, toward Leggett started to figure it out, and they started snaking some of the ball screen actions, and they're getting in the paint, and then we couldn't quite recover. So they just kind of they were able to get in the paint off the dribble.
Speaking of Leggett, were you expecting him to have a performance like he did, knowing that he was coming off the injury?
The guys respond differently in that. Usually it's harder, but some no. Usually the guys are sometimes out of sync, and maybe that was for the first 10 minutes, to be honest. And then once he's the kind of guy that seems like if he sees the ball go in the hoop, it probably gets him a little. He forgot about all the pain. He probably just some of them I'm hooping. So he was tough.
Max scored 11 points in the first 9 minutes for you guys. How did you see Pitt adjust against him as it went on?
They brought double every time he caught it, and Max handled it well. I thought he got it out of there. He had 2 turnovers. I'm not even sure if those were in regards to out of the double, and you got to make them pay when they do that. And we didn't make enough threes, and they do a great job flying out at you. But at the end of the day, you got to knock some down. When some of our better shooters weren't able to convert, and we do that, then you make it's a more competitive game.
But you had an opportunity to play Clemson and Pitt this week.
Yeah.
2 of the better teams in the conference. How do you compare the two?
You know what? I think they're be a good game. Those 2 teams. They're different style, but very good. Very comparable. I think both have really good guards, and then I think Pitt's a little more sleek offensively. If they can get out and run, they're really hard to play in space. They're really hard, and then Clemson likes to grind you a little more. But it'd be very, very good teams, very similar.
Were you guys travel weary at all because of just?
I felt like we weren't. I was kind of, you don't know. This is the first time I made a trip back like this, and it could have showed up. But on the road, I've coached in the Ivy League when you had to play back to back. So I've done some, I've coached, West Coast and where you had short turnaround. So I was pleased with how our energy was, to be honest. Now our execution was as good, but I think that's important. That our energy was okay, and we wore out a little bit, but overall, I don't think that was the factor.
One of the ways Pitt tried to combat right now was by having a big man focused, the 3 of them down there. Was that something you were anticipating, or was it kind of a curveball for you?
Absolutely not. I didn't think he'd play one of the Diaz's at the 3. I didn't see that coming. That actually altered the game too. I think they were 4 for 9 or something, 4 for 7, maybe those 2. Obviously, I couldn't distinguish which one's which, but I didn't see that. I didn't expect that, and that they're hard, and I thought so anything inside was really hard. I mean, that's a lot of length and size in there, and then they were also opening up the zone. We sucked in on some penetration, and they were able to make us pay.
As a first-year head coach in the ACC, has anything surprised you about the conference, or is there been anything you've noticed overall?
You know what? I was impressed by both crowds. Both turn out. I know there's a Steelers game tonight, so I also thought it'd be a little thinner than it was. I don't know if they filed out at halftime to go catch the kickoff, but same thing Clemson on a New Year's Day 4:00 tip. It's a neat league. There was 8,000 people there, and I don't know where they all come from down there. There's not a lot going on in Clemson when the students aren't there. So it's neat. I think it's a basketball league. I think there's a lot of pride in their programs, and something that we can, just the opportunity to compete in this league and this level is a challenge, and pretty excited about it.
Anything else?
No.